Yeah, we back. Yeah, we back. Now, today we got a very funny video, right? Today we're going to go to South Africa. Now, apparently today, a young lady by the name of, well, I don't even know her name. And to be honest, her name is not even that important. But a young South African woman won Miss South Africa, the beauty pageant, Miss South Africa, right? Now, there was a lot of controversy surrounding this event. There was a lot of debates and discord surrounding the contestants involved in the competition, particularly surrounding a young lady by the name of, I don't want to pronounce her name wrong, I think it's Chidimma, Adetshina or something like that. Take a look up on the screen. Miss South Africa contestant faces backlash over having a Nigerian father. Chidimma Adetshina was subjected to online abuse and questions about whether she is a South African amid anti-African immigrant sentiment. Now, for those y'all that's, y'all in tune with what's going on in South Africa, you already know what's going on with them folks down in South Africa, right? The anti-African, the anti-black xenophobia, it's a hotbed in that area. Even though they be kissing the Arab feet over there, they be talking about pray for Palestine, pray for the Arab brothers in Palestine. But meanwhile, when an African from a different country comes around, they become big and bad. They start talking crazy, right? But they be kissing the Arab feet, they be kissing the white man feet. But whatever, it is what it is. We understand the xenophobic sentiment in South Africa is pretty high over there, right? I even said it in previous videos. They got their own version of what they call, the FBA movement in North America. The South Africans got their own little thing going on over there too, right? With their patriotism and their nationalism over there, right? So this lady right here, she was born and raised South African, born and raised over there. She was a contestant in the competition, and there was a lot of backlash surrounding her participating because they felt like you're not a real South African. You're not a real daughter of the soil. You're not a real daughter of the country. You're a foreigner. You're an outsider. So because of that, you cannot compete. You cannot represent us. You cannot represent us on the world stage. You cannot be Miss South Africa because you are a foreigner. You are an outsider. You are an illegal alien, even though you're born and raised, but you're an illegal alien. So only to turn around and the goddamn white European French descendant won the whole competition. But anyways, let's jump into some of these articles, man. A South African beauty pageant contestant with a Nigerian father has been subjected to relentless online abuse and interrogations of her right to compete for the Miss South Africa title, as a persistent strain of xenophobia against immigrants from other African countries has resurfaced. Since Chidimma Adetshina, a 23-year-old law student who was born in Soweto and lives in Cape Town, was announced on the 1st of July as one of the contestants in the running to represent South Africa at the Miss Universe pageant, there has been constant questioning of whether she is a South African citizen. Now, time out. I just want to say, I would probably cut the South Africans a little bit of slack, right? If they came at the white folks with the same level of fire and venom and vigor, right? You can't, when a black man come around, you can't be, burning the black man alive and killing a black man in the middle of the street. But meanwhile, when a white man come around, he owns 70, 80, 90% of the farmland. He owns the means of production. He got the economy on lock, but you ain't burning nobody alive. You ain't telling nobody go back to Europe. You ain't calling nobody a foreigner. You talking about, oh, that's my white South African brother. We the rainbow nation. We a multicultural society. That's what I don't really like. It's definitely, an energy of cowardice coming out of the southern tip of Africa. Cowardice. That's the only way I could describe it. When a black man come around, you ready for war. You ready for murder. When a white man come around, you lower your voice. You acting respectful. I don't like that, man. It's definitely some hypocritical cowardice going on. I don't like that, man. There's definitely some spinelessness going on. At least if you kept the same energy, we could kind of respect it. We could just say, you know what? These guys are just some real patriots, some real nationalists, and it don't matter who will stand in front of them. They're going to ride for their land. But I don't like that, man. When a black man come around, the black man getting killed, the black man getting slandered, the black man getting insulted. When the white man come around, you talking about, that's my brother. He's a legal citizen. He's a real South African. Man, some of y'all just cowards, man. And I know it ain't all y'all, because I got some South African brothers that follow my channel and they don't believe in that. But we be lying if we said that the energy of xenophobia is not running rampant in that part of the world right now. We got to be honest. The xenophobia is so crazy over there. You guys got mainstream media publications doing documentaries on the xenophobia. Y'all worldwide with the xenophobia. Y'all world famous with the xenophobia. Take a look up on the screen. Inside South Africa's Operation Dulla. Why we hate foreigners. And when they talk about why we hate foreigners, they ain't talking about the Frenchmen, they ain't talking about the Dutchmen, they ain't talking about the Britishman. They ain't talk about that. They talk about the black man. Yeah, they talk about the black African man. That's why it's some hypocritical, two-faced cowardice, man. When a black man come around, you grabbing the gasoline, you grabbing the tires. When a white man come around, ain't none of that. And that's why y'all be getting clowned. That's why we be clowning y'all. If y'all kept the same energy across the board, nobody could say nothing, right? All right, you xenophobic towards the black man, you xenophobic towards the white man, the Chinese man, you burning the black man alive, you burning the white man alive, you sacking the black man's business, you sacking the white man's business. We would just say, you know what? These guys are just some real gangsters. You know, these guys are just some real gangsters. You got to respect them. But we cannot respect somebody who, when a black man come around, you beating on your chest. When a white man come around, you talking about we the rainbow nation. We the rainbow nation. You know, I'm sorry, man. I can't respect it. I'm sorry. I can't respect it. But anyways, back to that Operation Dulla nonsense that I mentioned earlier, where they did a documentary on in the Western media. Take a look up on the screen. Operation Dulla is an organization which turned into a political party in South Africa. The group is widely recognized as being xenophobic and has been linked with violently threatening and targeting legal and illegal immigrants. The group blames South Africa's porous borders, lenient immigration practices, and the presence of migrants for many of South Africa's social issues. Now, these folks felt so passionate about these xenophobic sentiments, they actually started a petition signed by thousands of citizens to get the young lady Chidimma removed from the beauty pageant from the Miss South Africa competition. Now, I believe the website, I think it was change.org, removed the petition because it violated their terms of service. But as you can see, it amassed thousands of signatures in a very short time. Now, let's get to know the young lady Chidimma Adetshina. Chidimma Adetshina is a South African who was competing in Miss South Africa 2024. Reaching the top 11 finalists, it was called to be removed from the contest. It was claimed that she was unable to participate due to her mixed heritage. Now, it's hilarious because when you look at the woman who won the beauty pageant, who won the competition, we don't gotta say nothing. All this controversy, all this conversation, talking about, oh, she's a foreigner, her father's Nigerian, she's an outsider, she's an alien, she's a non-citizen, she's not a real native, she's an immigrant. Meanwhile, who won the damn competition? A European descendant. A European descendant. And when I look at the last name, that's a French last name, right? She's the daughter of a white Frenchman. But if you bring up that fact, the black South African gonna look you in the face and tell you she's part of the family. She's a South African. She's been here for centuries. She's part of the foundation. She's part of the fabric of the society. Yo, bro, that's why I'm saying, bro, if you don't got the same energy for the Dutch settlers, the French descendant Huguenot invaders, then listen, don't talk to me about none of that bullshit. I don't respect none of it. You guys are some cowards, man. And this doesn't apply to all y'all, but the ones that share that sentiment, you some cowards, bro. You a coward. You a coward. Because you're not going to tell me that the young lady Chidimma, a real daughter of African soil, a real daughter of the soil, you know, a real African woman, you're going to tell me that you feel more camaraderie, more kinship to a descendant of a French Huguenot who was escaping the perils of Europe. You feel more connection to her than a real daughter of the soil. Man, listen, ain't no defending that. Ain't no defending that. Y'all the same ones crying for the Arabs in Palestine. Pray for our brothers and sisters in Palestine. Meanwhile, you got all this smoke, venom, and hellfire to rain down on black Africans that share your same continent. Man, listen, I don't respect none of that. Y'all boys feel more kinship with some damn Arabs and some damn French descendant Huguenots. Y'all boys is some clowns. Anyways, man, let's continue. Take a look up on the screen. The controversy sparked a wider debate about citizenship, identity, and representation in South Africa, with some arguing that Adetshina's citizenship does not disqualify her from representing the country, while others believe that she should not be allowed to compete due to her Nigerian heritage. Meanwhile, a damn woman with French heritage won the whole competition. Clowns. Y'all boys feel more kinship and connection to France. Clowns, boy. Let's continue. Now, if you thought this sentiment was just relegated to the bottom rung of society, like, no. We got actual politicians and ministers in the government that share these same sentiments, that are really, you know, fanning the flames of the xenophobia. But you know they would never bring the same smoke and energy to, you know, the ones who control the economy, the ones who control the farmland and the means of production and industry. No. When they get around them, they're very respectful. Oh, my South African brother. But when they talk about, you know, fellow Africans on the continent, they got all this smoke. I'm going to play this clip from one of the ministers. I think it's the Minister of Culture or something like that. Run the footage. I'll be right back.
I have to go and investigate. I can't just talk because I'm a minister. And if she's South African, we will wish her well. But if she's not South African, We can't have representatives on the world stage. Where I am sitting now, I don't know. I am waiting for answers. But they say it's xenophobic when you ask the question. How can it be xenophobic? We must ask questions.
All right, we back. Now, I believe that was the Minister of Culture. As you can see, even at the highest levels of society, this anti-black xenophobic sentiment is very active. Now, keep in mind, when you look at the South African government, the government ministers, the members of parliament, the members who, the big oligarchs in the economy, it's a very diverse bunch. You got folks who descend from the Netherlands, who descend from France, who descend from Germany, who descend from the UK, who descend from India, who descend from China, right? Who descend from Lebanon, who descend, you got Jews. But meanwhile, like I said, do you think that the men of those nations, do you think that they get the same smoke? You do think they get the same smoke? Even the descendants of those who humiliated their ancestors, stripped them of their land and put them into slavery and violated their women. Do you think they bring the same level of hostility towards the men of those nations, the men of those races? Do you think so? No, they don't. I could halfway respect it if they did, right? Okay, you want to bring smoke to the black man, fine. But if I see, the descendant of the Frenchman and the Dutchman and everybody else getting the same smoke, getting a tie around his neck, getting set on fire like the black man, I'd be like, you know what? Cool. You know what? That's just how they get down. That's their culture. But when it's this one-sided sentiment towards one race of people, but you too cowardly to pump your chest towards anybody else, I don't know, man. I got to call it into question. And it's not just the men. It's the women too.
It's not fair. It's really not fair. We've seen crime, we see trafficking, we see abuse of this country and its economy and its state. And the only thing that we're being told is because we don't want to be African enough. No, African unity, if it's a big deal, if it's so important, all the people that want this African unity so badly, why do you need to have the African unity in South Africa?
All right, we back. Now, we talking about a damn beauty pageant. And this lady over here, she ranting about crime and trafficking and all this nonsense as if this young lady Chidimma has trafficked anybody or committed a crime against anybody. But listen, the xenophobia is so crazy, right? Every time you bring it up, they talk about, oh man, the black immigrants, they're bringing crime, they're selling drugs. But like I said, that same energy is never kept with their fellow citizens of the Rainbow Nation, right? When you look at the white South African community, you want to talk about crimes they committed against the so-called native black population, crimes of genocide, crimes of persecution, crimes of murder, crimes of torture, human rights violation, forced labor, restriction of movement. They didn't even allow you to travel freely around the country until recently. Sexual violence. Like, if you want to talk about the crime sheet of your so-called fellow white South African brothers of the Rainbow Nation. But like I said, whenever you bring that up, you know what they say? Oh man, the past is the past, man. We look into the future. The past is the past, man. We look into the future. They South Africans just like us. Man, that's why I don't respect none of that. I don't respect none of that, man. I don't respect none of that coward ass shit, bruh. Pardon my language, man. Pardon my language. I'm trying to clean up the channel, but sometimes I gotta just tell it like it is, bruh. But anyways, the xenophobic sentiment got so crazy that, take a look up on the screen, she actually, she just bowed out the competition entirely. She probably would have won the whole thing, as you can see, beautiful young lady, but she just ended up withdrawing because the xenophobia was just reaching a crazy level. You had government ministers talking down on her. That was crazy, man. Miss South Africa finalist Chidimma Adetshina reveals she's withdrawing from the contest for her own safety following xenophobia row over her heritage. Vicious rumors accuse Adetshina of not being eligible to take part in the competition, claiming she's Nigerian and not a real South African. The law student had received a torrent of vile abuse on social media, while Miss South Africa and the government were urged to ban her from competing. In a statement posted to Instagram on Thursday, Adetshina broke her silence on the issue to reveal that she's been forced to withdraw from the competition over fears for her own safety and that of her family. Now, let's take a look at some of the reactions on social media to this, a so-called a real South African winning the competition, right? This person said, a true South African woman. Congratulations to Mia LaRoe for getting crowned Miss South Africa. This person said, Mandela wasted years of his life on clowns. This person said, so y'all saw Chi-Chi is not suitable for the crown, only the crown of European. Oh my goodness. Now it's crazy because I believe that the winner of this competition, I think you get like $50,000, you get a luxury car, you get like all these gifts and prizes when you win the competition, right? Psst, crazy, man. They rather the white Frenchman's daughter get the money and the prizes. That's crazy. Instead of the black man's daughter get it, they rather the white man's daughter get it. That's crazy, bro. Hey, it is what it's the Rainbow Nation, right? Anyway, let's continue. Now, this is Tyler, right? You know, world famous singer, world famous South African music artist Tyler. She said this: I will always stand with South Africa. I just feel regardless of the opinions, she was bullied, and that's what I don't stand for. All right, shout out to Tyler. Shout out to her. You know, I believe she's also somebody of mixed heritage. I believe she's like an Indian mix type descendant, but they don't got no problem with her. They talk about, oh yeah, she a real daughter, she a real South African, right? She an Indian mixed race type chick, but it's all good for her, right? The daughter of Indians, but the daughter of the black man, she don't get no love. It's cool though. It's cool. Let's continue. This person said, all that hatred for nothing. Person on the bottom said, it's embarrassing. This person said, a real daughter of Mama Africa won. Oh, man. Golly, man. Now, time out. Y'all remember that minister of culture in the South African government whose video I played earlier, who's talking about, oh, man, we got to investigate. We got to investigate to see if she a real South African. Now, take a look up on the screen. This is his reaction to the descendant of the white French European Huguenot winning the competition. Let's see if he kept the same energy for the white man's daughter. Take a look up on the screen. He said, congratulations, South African queen, Mia LaRoe. I know you'll represent us well. Yo, these dudes are some clowns, man. These dudes are some clowns, bro. I thought Tarina Sheed was, man, listen, them boys got Tarina Sheed beat, man. Tarina Sheed needed to step his xenophobia up, man. Them boys in South Africa taking the crown. Them boys taking the championship belt. Let's continue. Now, matter of fact, I gotta stop calling it xenophobia, because if it was xenophobia, then everybody will be getting the same energy. But it's really Afrophobia, because it's only one race, it's only one ethnicity that's getting this type of hostility. Meanwhile, the other races, he talking about look at our white queens, look at our white South African queens. Man, them boys different down there, boy. Them boys different. Let's continue. This person said 27 wasted years. God, leave, man. God damn. But I wouldn't even say that, because Nelson Mandela, he was the one that also, I believe he also had a similar mentality, you know, the Rainbow Nation, our white South African brothers, even though they humiliated our forefathers, but our white South African brothers, we got to lock arms in reconciliation. Nelson Mandela, I believe he was the originator. He was the pioneer of that mentality. So, you know, I wouldn't call it 27 wasted years. You know, I would call it a job well done. Let's continue. This person said, finally, an indigenous South African woman. Oh, man. This person said, I think the surprise that many non-South Africans have about how far the entire country took this beauty pageant case is because we think of it as an aberration and a distraction, the kind of two-day social media trend that goes away and gives space for more important issues to surface. But as someone who has lived in South Africa, I can assure viewers that this is not a distraction. Anti-Black migrant discourse is a critical national issue in South Africa. As surely as the sun rises daily, the average South African would find a way to tie any social problem to Black immigrants. The Black immigrant in South Africa is blamed for everything, from petty street crime to grand state capture. Holding politicians accountable for social problems is second only to the culture of identity politics that frames every issue as one of nationalism. I have had South African close acquaintances throw me under the bus or act distant rather than be perceived as being friendly to a foreigner. It is practically stigmatizing to show care for a non-South African. In short, the Miss South African issue is not an aberration. It is not a sudden distraction. It is the main national conversation. And it is rightfully weird to anyone who is not South African how deeply invested an entire country is in this. And that's why we say South Africa is xenophobic. No electricity, too many Black immigrants overloading the system. Crimes in the cities, Black immigrants did it. Drugs in the townships, Black immigrants sell it. Police corruption, Black immigrants bought them. Unemployment, Black immigrants taking their jobs. Failed at a business, the Black immigrants bullied the entrepreneurs. Unpopular government policy, the ANC does it to protect Black immigrants. South African national arrested for a crime must have been influenced by the Black immigrants. Rising house rents, the Black immigrants taking over the properties. South African reputation declining abroad, the Black immigrants pretending to be South Africans. Man, listen, man, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. If you ask me, I look at South Africa the same way I look at North Africa, right? If you notice on my channel, I don't talk about North Africa. I don't even think about North Africa because to me, North Africa is lost. Black men have lost North Africa, right? The Arabs, they took North Africa from us, and I just chalk it up as a loss. You know, the black man lost North Africa. It is what it is. Fuck it. You know, it is what it is, man. We lost the North. Cool. I look at South Africa the same way, right? South Africa is gone. Like, the black man lost South Africa. You know what I'm saying? That is has been settled by foreigners. It's been dominated by foreigners, and you know, it is what it is. You know, we got a whole bunch of other countries though. So that's what I think about it. Like, the black man, we lost North Africa and we lost South Africa. It's cool. It's all right. You know, it's all right. We still got a lot left. It's all right. It's cool. Like, I don't worry myself with North Africa, South Africa. I saw on my channel, I don't really talk about neither of those regions, because to me, it's pretty much a wrap. It's pretty much a wrap. It's pretty much a wrap. It's not that South Africa couldn't be, you know, retaken and reconquered, but the mentality, like the mentality isn't there, right? So if you look at the fellow white South Africa, oh, that's my brother in the Rainbow Nation. I mean, it is what it is, man. Your brother owns the means of production, the economy, the farmland, and you cool with it. So the black man has lost South Africa. It is what it is. Fuck it. Anyways, take a look up on the screen. This person said, an African child who was born in the south of Africa is called a foreigner. An Asian woman who was born in China and moved to South Africa and got citizenship is called South African and is made a member of parliament. Ha! Crazy. Take a look up on the screen. Jome Havard is a Chinese-born South African businesswoman and politician who currently serves as a member of parliament. Funny as hell. Funny as hell. Anyways, man, I'm not going to waste too much time talking on this topic. I really wasn't going to talk about it at all. I've been watching it low-key for a while, but I wasn't going to talk about it until I see they gave the crown to a goddamn white French descendant. I had to say something, man. I had to open my mouth. I had to open my mouth, man. Anyways, man, it's enough for Kari. That's a lead back in the belly. Yes, indeed. Cash App in the description. Support the album, man. Support the album. Peace.
No. Feel like I'm 75. Know that your team be full of them traders, you know that can never be mine. I'm grabbing a thought when I drive. I'm back in my zone and we young. She said that she ready to come be my wife, yeah, hoping I don't do her wrong. I gave her my word and it's bond. I'm whipping the best like a lamb. I mean no chicken and lamb. Accustomed to call me the man. I never be up on the gram. I'm keeping that way undercover. She want me to tell her I love her. I told her I'm breaking the rules. I told her we making the news. Back in my city, they loving me. Standing alone, I'm 100 deep. Enemy plotting and still in reach. They try to make sure that we underneath. Trying to make sure that we never make it. Coming for power, come get acquainted. Coming for everything that I wanted. Feeling like Drake, but I really wrote it. Feeling like Kendrick, I'm checking names. Gotta roll up while I go insane. Got so much stress, I've been gated away. Stuffing these racks in this Louis case. One thing for certain, I'm about to check. Keep it 100 and nothing less. Stick with the family since day one. Had to stay down till my day come. Had to stay down, but I'm never patient. Hop on the mic and I'm motivated. Hop on the mic and I drive a classic. Haters can't see me, they copping glasses. Back in the studio making magic. Got a new tape and it's in production. Back on my business, I got a budget. Staying low key when I'm out in public. Feel like I'm 75. Know that your team be full of them traders, you know that can never be mine. I'm grabbing a thought when I drive. I'm back in my zone and we young. She said that she ready to come be my wife, yeah, hoping I don't do her wrong. I gave her my word and it's bond. I'm whipping the best like a lamb. I mean no chicken and lamb. Accustomed to call me the man. I never be up on the gram. I'm keeping that way undercover. She want me to tell her I love her. I told her I'm breaking the rules. I told her we making the news.